you have to go to the Reach organization.
Neither do I.
I guess we're wondering. Oh, I guess we can do deforest project. I'm in History 101.
Bay is named after. The volcanoes were active somewhere between 12 and 20 million years ago. And this is the last one on the east end of the string of volcanoes. For those of you who were on the train coming down from Paso Robles, you can probably see the ones that are just west of San Luis Obispo. So you see a whole lot of as you came down the hill through the tunnels and everything, you can see them just on. It's called the Edna Valley, EDNA, and there's quite a few vineyards down here. And out across the desert, across the Colorado River with some help from the Yuma Indians, then across the desert down by Palm Springs, 2 or 3 months. Then they headed up the coast of the train right now. There's a cream-colored one and a gray. Is it gray? Yes, it's a gray house, 2-story houses. Those are the Price Homestead houses, and they're operated by one of the local history. It'll join us, and we'll kind of run parallel to it all the way down the coast. But here it is going over our heads, and we won't see it for quite a while. Off to the right is the city of Pismo Beach. Pismo Beach was named after the Pismo clam, and they used to harvest these big clams. Some of them are like 5 or 6, 8 inches across, and they used to harvest the clams commercially. 45,000 in a day, we've been told, but they had to stop that because they were depleting the clam supply. You can still harvest them as they get up a little higher and be able to see a little better.
There you go.
Lots of plants. Strawberries off to the left. Those are all strawberries with the on the right too. Those are all strawberries. Notice they have plastic covering the mounds and the furrows. That's to keep the heat in the ground. Also keeps the strawberries from touching the ground when the strawberries are around. There was a movie about horses called Hidalgo that was filmed out in the dunes. And also the 3rd episode of Pirates of the Caribbean was filmed out in the dunes. More strawberries on the right and left side of the train. summer up here and they winter down in Costa Rica or South America. This is one of the preserves. There's a lot of things they do here on Vandenberg to save the natural wildlife and plant life. There's the ocean looking out there, and right on the right side, that's space launch. That's launch pad 576E. It was originally designed as a silo, and they closed the silo, filled it with concrete as part of the strategic arms limitation talks. Now they use it to launch Taurus missiles on a mobile launcher. Works pretty well. Minotaurs, I'm sorry. It used to be called Tauruses. Yeah, it used to be Taurus, now it's Minotaur. Back down to Santa Barbara this afternoon. We're going to be going a lot closer to the ocean than we are right now. So what you want to do, and everybody in the car needs to do this because I can't see everything. Everybody has to watch for whales. What you're looking for is a spout. They'll blow and they'll push the seawater out of their nose basically. When they blow, they're exhaling. And the water just goes up for a little bit. Sometimes you get to see flukes when they go down, but most of the time along here, all you're going to see is a flow. So you just watch out there, and if it looks like there's a lot of water going straight up, that's probably a whale. Yell out, and we'll all watch. They don't always go by themselves. In fact, most of the time they're in groups. So if you see one, there's likely another one there too. So we'll just keep our eyes open as we go down along the coast. More likely to see them down way over Santa Barbara Channel. But anywhere it's European, they gotta get all the way up to Alaska. So keep our eyes open. There's some smaller marine mammals called dolphins. We obviously see dolphins on the train also. Keep your eyes open for those. They're a lot smaller. Black fins, they like to jump out of water and come up a lot, so they're easier to see. The gray whales are pretty large. They can be up to 70 feet long. And like I said, they're making their migration from down the Scamas Lagoon and places in Baja, California, all the way up to are going to be a little bit, almost twice as far out, or 3 times as far out as the edge of the surf, so they'll be out a little bit. If you look at the right side, there's an oil platform out there. That's platform Irene. We're in the I zone as we round Point Arguello. All the other oil platforms we'll see down to Santa Barbara are in the H zone. So they'll all start with H. All the platforms do the same thing. They slant drill from the area, and they can cover an area about 2 square miles out there. So I'm going to tell some stories right now. First one happened on September. They knew approximately how fast they were going, and they knew where they were on the charts, they thought.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and call them.
At Point Arguello, and the radio man had the radio beacon on his sights. He knew where they were. He told the commander, but the commander didn't trust the newfangled devices. So he ordered the fleet to turn to port. That's a left turn. They're going down the coast the way we are. They came right into the shore, right here where those rocks are offshore. We call those destroyer rocks. 7 of the destroyers either crashed into the rocks, turned over between the rocks and the shore, or hit the shore. The Delphi, where he was, broke in 2. The other 7 were able to avoid the destruction because they heard all the crashing and the whistles on board the other ships. 23 sailors lost their lives in the accident. If you look at, I'm sorry, I'm going to break the story for a minute. If you look out the left side, that's Space Launch Complex 6 up ahead of us. Big flag on the side. This is the facility they were going to use for the space shuttle. So that's Space Launch Complex 6. Give you an idea how big it is. The stars on the flag are 6 feet across. The stripes, each stripe is 8 feet across. The flags were painted by volunteers. They've since expanded the facility a little bit and they still use it for commercial launches. So back to the story. USS Young that turned over in the channel between the rocks and the shore. They were caught underneath and 2 others were lost on another ship. It was about the 3rd worst naval disaster, U.S. naval history in peacetime. This is Point Arguello, and the radio beacon is still here. It still works. Everybody trusts it now.
Spaces available, be more than happy to give them away. Thank you.
You get here on a 14-mile road from Highway 1. They have a snack bar here that's famous for the Halama burger. Halama is spelled J-A-L-A-M-A, and it's the Spanish word that came closest to the sound of the Chumash village that was here when the Portola expedition came up the coast in 1769. Bridges were brought out in parts. Took about 15 rail cars to hold the whole bridge. Then they were assembled in place. So most of them were completed before 1900 or early 1900. The bridges have been strengthened. In the 1930s, they added some more supports to them. In the 1950s, they put ballast, the rock that's next to the tracks, they put ballasted decks on to further stabilize the bridges. They're inspected a couple times a year and they're still in great shape. The next bridge we're going to go across is the Agua Caliente Bridge. It's also a big trestle. Like quick station they use to pump the oil from the platforms into the pipeline. But the pipeline's closed still because of the spill. So I'm not sure what they're doing with the oil. I'm not sure they're bringing any oil from the platforms at all any longer.